Hey guys, it's the Nerdboy97 coming at you today with a little talk about the new Star Wars movie. I know maybe some of you have heard about it. I guess I've heard about it because I'm a Star Wars fan, but if you haven't heard about it, they're thinking about making a new Star Wars movie. But first off, you need to know that Disney bought off the Star Wars franchise from George Lucas, which I believe is going to probably ruin this saga. But first, before I talk to you, let me just get all this kind of stuff off because it's kind of getting annoying. So, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was some of the new things that Star Wars has done right now, anyways, before Disney bought it. The big thing is that the 3 new movies that came out, well, they're not new, but they came out in 2000. They're The Phantom Menace, The Attack of the Clones, and The Revenge of the Sith. And those are the new 3 movies that came out after the original 3 movies that came out late 70s and early 80s. The thing I was going to talk about was the Star Wars The Clone Wars episodes on Cartoon Network. Now, I don't think very many people watch these except if you're like a 10-year-old watching TV at like 8 in the morning or something on a Saturday, which I really don't do because I like to sleep on Saturday mornings. All those little kids that get up early and watch Saturday TV watch probably this Star Wars show, and I've seen a couple episodes of it, but there have been reruns, and it didn't really appeal to me. It takes place between Attack of the Clones and The Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin is becoming more of a Jedi, I guess you can say, and he gets a Padawan. Well, they go together and they fight on all these battles and such, and it's just adding more story, I guess, between the space between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, where you don't get a lot of information because you go from the beginning of the Clone War to the end of the Clone War, which it is a little confusing. So I'm guessing that they're trying to use this Cartoon Network show to fill in the gap of all the information that they need to know. One of the movies they're thinking about making is a solo Yoda movie. That means they're going to make a movie just based on Yoda's life. And, well, you meet Yoda at the beginning, well, if you want to, you meet him at the end of his life, but in the new 3 movies that came out, you actually get him see him fight, which you didn't really see him do that at all in the old Star Wars movies. This shows him, I guess, a little younger, you can say, just by a 20-year gap, but he's like 900 years old, so that's just a little bit of his life right there. And so the solo Yoda movie is going to talk about him becoming a Jedi. It'll probably talk about some of his past Jedi Padawans like Count Dooku, and probably some others that we've never really heard about. And it'll probably bring into the story more about how the Jedi Order was founded too, which is, I guess, good information to know. But I don't really think they're going to be able to fit that into one movie, so it might come out in parts. I guess I can but it just kind of drags on, which you just want to see the whole thing at once. But I don't know if these Yoda movies are going to be that good, because it's going to have to talk about hundreds of years, maybe have it stretched out where it's Yoda early years, Yoda Jedi years, and then you already know about the end of his life and everything. Another thing I wanted to talk about was, where would they get the new characters from? Because now Jedi can't have children because they can't really love anyone, because love would cause the fear and that would lead to the dark side. And so if Luke had kids, that would mean he would become a new Dark Jedi, which would probably lead into another repeating role of Darth Vader, which I don't want to see again. And another possible thing would be Han Solo and Princess Leia having a daughter or son that become Jedis. Because they're related to Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, their midi-chlorians would be off the scales, and they might become great Jedi Masters. And if they do this, they can start up a new Jedi Council, which they could possibly do. But the thing, we don't know what time period the new movies are going to be set in. I want to know more information about the end of Darth Sidious and Darth Vader, because that leads on to a new era of possibly peace, because we don't know any other Sith Lords at this time, because there can only be 2 at a time. And that is some information that I'd like to know more about. The final thing I want to talk to you about is the director. Now, the director is the same director that directed the new Star Trek movies that came out, I think, in like 2009, that Star Trek movie, and the new one coming out, I think, this summer. Which I really don't want that to happen, because, first of all, Star Wars and Star Trek are 2 different things. Star Trek has happened in the future. Well, just a little bit in the future where you can go from Kansas all the way up to space and fly around and do all this. Well, Star Wars is set in a place galaxies away, years and millions of years ago. So they're two different things. And the thing I think about this is the director will possibly go in the same direction with Star Trek and Star Wars. I know some of you probably are thinking, oh, this guy's just talking crap now, isn't he? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I really don't care. I'm a Star Wars fan. I get my opinion on these new Star Wars movies, and you get your opinion. But the thing is, I'm probably going to see these movies, and throughout the time before these movies are even in production right now, because they're probably not coming out till 2015, 2016. Throughout that time, I'll probably become more and more excited to see those new movies, and my mind will probably change. But right now, since I have no idea the direction of these next movies, I really don't know what to think about it. So thank you for watching the video. I should be making another video that'll premiere next Friday. If you have any suggestions for videos or things for me to talk about, just leave it in the comments below, please, and I'll try and get to it. So I'm just going to go, and may the Force be with you.